Hi, planet Earth. My name's Chris.
Hello from the other side of planet Earth. I am Brenton. How are
There
you?
you go. You sound quiet.
I am quiet. I sound quiet.
It does now. Now that we're live. It sounded fine before. It sounds a little quiet, but that's okay.
Now it sounds a little quiet. Of course it does.
It's just a little roomy. It's fine. All good, buddy. How are you doing?
Not too bad, man. I'm in the other side of British Columbia, up the coast, on the other side of the things, and yeah, not too bad. Just a little March break, hanging out at on the ocean. So there you go.
All right. So just let's get the negative vibes out of the way right off the bat. How about that Briere kid proving that like hockey players are douchebags? Wow. Because you know what? Just to finish the sentence here is when I came here to Kingston, my buddy Mark was like, "Why didn't you play hockey in Port Perry?" And I was like, "Oh, dude, I didn't really hang out with those guys." And he's like, "Wow, because it's different here." And I don't know. I play hockey in Kingston. I don't know how different it is, but anyway, dude, what up with that?
It's so tough because like there's the ones that just want to play hockey, and then there's the ones that are like just that straight douchebags, and like Danny Briere's like you'd think I'm not saying having a famous parent would.
He just got the job better. Too, right? Just got the job to run the Flyers interim.
You'd think that he would be like, a little bit more like, man, I think every single thing that I do is going to be on film here.
I thank everyone for that camera. Lonnie, can you turn that down a bit, please? I thank everyone for that camera that was there that caught him.
Man, it's just like, yeah, it's like the NHL really seems to get a pass on this stuff. Everyone focuses all their attention on the NFL and the wife beating and the drugs and the this and the that and all the bullshit abuse and all the gangster shit and all that stuff. And then you get the hockey guys that are like, well, it's just hockey culture. And it's so lame. And Ray who's going to come on today with us. It was the sports director for Crier Media, and we'll probably have a pretty good opinion about this.
Cool. Well, it's negative vibes. I was saying, let's just get the negative vibes out of the way right off the hop, right? Yeah. It's like, let's grind our gears right off the beginning, just because I just, as I mentioned, it kind of comes close to my heart because I love playing hockey, but I just find even as an adult, the culture is something that I'm not partial to. Okay. And boom, that's it. Moving on, dude. I had a great weekend. For one thing, I battled my anxiety and I just packed everything up myself and I drove, 2 hours on the 401 to Deadly Grounds Coffee. Now, here's a picture of me. Look at that. There I am there. Look at that crazy looking dude there. So what a great place, dude. This is in Curtis. This is Deadly Grounds Coffee. And some of our friends on here, a little bit more on the high end, like Brent Fitz, man, was saying, raving about this coffee, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's a perfect example of my anxiety. I forgot to get any coffee. I really wanted to bring some home with me, but I went there, dude, it's anxiety, man. As I say, it sucks. I drove there and I did my thing. I set up all by myself and lots of people came. It was so much fun. And everybody there was amazing. They were so nice to me. But just when I was done, it was like, gotta drive. You know what I mean? So I forgot to get any coffee from them, which sucks. But the other thing that I thought was neat was this here. This is our friend Chris Trebella's store, and it's right in this coffee shop. And this is Super Zuka. I have one of their shirts on right now, and I had a shirt on there. You can see behind me. Look at that real life Jason, and there's a hidden room in. Yeah, there's a hidden room in there. It was really cool, man. Like look at me. I'm like having a blast. So that was really cool.
This is in Oshawa or where?
No, this is in Curtis, my friend.
It's in Curtis, yeah.
Yeah, it might as well be Oshawa. The Schwa vibes were like huge. The Schwa vibes were like huge, but no. Yeah. And the owners were so cool to me. They weren't there, but everybody working there, Brent was just so rad. Like I basically invaded that place and took over, man. I had like families coming in to see me. It was so cool. And another thing, so I like Dave McClure and his wife came out with their daughter, and man, what an amazing little girl they have. If they're watching, cheers to you guys. And our old buddy Jerry Ewell came out with his son, who I teach online, and I gave him a bunch of certificates, and it was great. Another person's son, Dean's son, Blundell, came out to see me, and he's like my young Jedi, and he hung out with me for a while. And I have a great little interview with him that we're going to show next week, because we're going to do a little piece on him off the hop. And very talented musician. So we're just gonna talk to him a little bit. He was live on location with me, and I asked him some of those hard hitting questions, Brent, that I like to ask people, like, hey, what's your favorite conspiracy theory? Right? So it was really cool. So this place, dude, and the other thing that was funny is that I had so many people show up and go, Chris, I saw this was at a coffee shop, and it didn't make sense to me until I opened the door, and it's like video games, Brent. Horror coffee themed drinks, horror treats. I don't know the name for all this stuff because I'm not a coffee shop guy. You know what I mean? Like there's lattes and stuff like that was really big. There was a white zombie that everybody was buying. And again, dude, I didn't even get a coffee because you know me, I'm like ADHD, woo, don't need a coffee. So I was Woody Woodpeckering it in there, and I had such a good time.
I would imagine you on caffeine in that scenario with your anxiety, though, the way it was, you probably would have been buzzing. So
it was enough. I had enough, but it was so good to see. And I met some new people, Brent. So, and it's funny how I just love I love the youth, the kids, man. You are the future, little ones. You are. And I say that to them once they say hello and everything. So this one little girl come up to me just out of the blue, and her mom was like kind of trying to keep an eye on her because she kind of cut in front of everybody. She had these great big glasses on, this tiny little girl. I think she was like 6 or 7 years old. And every time she asked me a question, she would bow. And her mom I forget it. Please stop bowing after every sentence. And I was just like, no, please don't stop bowing after every sentence, and I will reply. So we had this awesome conversation, this little girl, and she was like one of those little kids that's like, all I want to do in school is draw and make up stories, and nobody will let me, and my teachers tell me not to. They're just like, bravo. That's my fuel. And of course, then I say my favorite line that my wife tells me I have to stop saying about my history of drawing Spider-Man. So I just had a shower, and these headphones are slipping right out of my ears because my ears are squeaky clean. Okay, so that's a sidebar. But dude, this little girl was just beautiful. I say, hey, 6, 7 years old. And again, just everything she said after, she would go. And she had these great big little glasses on. Just the world was her oyster at that point in her mind, right? All she wants to do is write stories and draw. So I gave them my business card. I'm like, send me whatever you got. I'd love to see it. So I had such a good time. And again, so this is Deadly Grounds Coffee in Curtis. They're opening a new location in the Oshawa Center in the mall there, so everybody will be able to see. That's gonna be cool. Yeah, so I didn't get to see a lot of people because they're working on their new deal over there. But I just wanted to thank them publicly online and ask everybody if they're in the area to check it out, because you will be so impressed. Dan was just like, I didn't even know this place was here. You know what I mean? Like, wow! And he was asking them all these questions, and it was cool.
I saw you got Dent, which is awesome.
Yeah, Lonnie just wants to fix something here.
And I think.
What's wrong?
Keep going.
Hi, Lonnie.
Okay. So anyway, yeah. So Dan was there and it was great. He brought his whole shenanigan family there, and we had a great time. And I'm going to say just publicly, behave Dan's kids were, man. You say that, did you?
Well, there we go. I mean, you would think the father who got up to some shenanigans when he was
look. You got to look at it this way. I have to explain further to the situation. Our friend. Brent Richardson has 3 little boys ranging from 6 to 10 to 16 or something, right? So it's all, they're we're in a restaurant there. So I was really impressed, man. They're really well behaved. Because I got to admit, last time I saw them was a while ago, and the little dude was like a wild child. It was pretty entertaining. I could put some thoughts in his head and just go like, "Whoa, look at him go." Right? Yeah. Anyway, it was such a fabulous time. You gotta go to Deadly Grounds in Curtis, okay? And you gotta say, Chris Machete sent me, my friends. I had such a great time. And the video games and everything, it was awesome, dude. It was so much fun. Okay, so let's keep moving here. Viewer's choice, buddy. I started this last week, and I did the 80s. So what I do is I put a question online. Last week was, what from the 80s should we bring back? And the number one answer, and I picked what I thought the number one answer should be out of all these. And Brent, we had like 130 something comments, probably 130 comments, but some were like commenting on other people. But we had at least 100, man, and it was really well done. The one that I picked out, of course, there's the fashion, the music, right? That was cool. That was cool, and of course, some of that should come back. Number one that I picked out was from Sean Burwell from Dorchester, Ontario, and it was John Candy. Right?
I mean, could you imagine John? Man, that's the biggest loss ever in the 80s for me was that, because he was really just going.
Good answer, right?
He was really just starting, yeah.
Good answer.
I mean, I know we had the Buck, Uncle Buck, we had Planes, Trains, and all the rest of it, and Wagons, yeah, thing that he did, and he kind of had a bit of a rough go, but I can't imagine, like, he wouldn't have come up with brilliant stuff. It was such a weird time. It was such a weird time, though, because the movie making business out of the 80s into the 90s, it kind of got a little wacky there between, 95 and 2008. You had your
up to the present.
You know what I mean? You had some and so comedy kind of took a side outside of American Pie. But can you imagine like John Candy and American Pie and some
right. Well, see, this furthered our 80s Achievement Award from our channel that you probably saw was to John Hughes, and I should have asked you to put a list together for me beforehand, because there's no way you could do it like on the hop, I don't think. And the big task that I put upon myself last week, dude, I don't know if you saw it, was to eliminate every John Hughes film but 5. So that was like what I tasked myself with. Like, it's tough to do that on the spot. I should ask you to do that ahead of time, because that was a good one.
But that could be easier than you think, because his name was tagged to some dog.
It does get tough though, because then you're like, because I was going over it and I thought the same thing, but then you're like, okay, well, do I keep 2 Christmas movies? Do I keep Home Alone and Christmas Vacation? And Vacation 1 is like my all-time favorite film, top 5. Do I keep that and Christmas Vacation? So it gets down to, do I keep 16 Candles and Breakfast Club? It, like, you start to really analyze it, and I really enjoyed it as a film.
There's 4 right there.
Pardon me?
I mean, for me, it's Planes, Trains, it's Uncle Buck, it's Home Alone. That stays.
Right.
I can name.
So you'd keep 2 John Candy ones then. See, that was tough for me too, because it was like.
No, I have to. They're just good. They're mandatory watching movies for me.
I respect that totally.
Then it goes that Breakfast Club. For sure. And so then number 5 is The Floater. And for me, I can easily say I would take Vacation over any of the other Vacations.
Well, Vacation 1, and this is another thing that I think I mentioned about a lot of these 80s films that I brought up, is Vacation is a flawless movie. Now, you and I are going to do a segment on flawless first releases, flawless movies, flawless TV episodes, because I think that is an awesome segment to do with what's going flawless WWE matches. We're going to have a cornucopia, my friend, of this is going to be the episode of flawlessness coming up, and I'm excited for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But that's what I was saying about the Vacation movie and Back to the Future. Is that not a flawless movie?
It really is.
Right?
Brent, you're hard to hear. Volume up. Okay. Sure, Lonnie. How about now, Lonnie? Is that better, Lonnie?
Cool. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. So there was so many, and then the number one grossing movie from the 80s was E.T. And again, is that not a flawless movie?
I think it's flawless.
Yeah. Well, as you say, because it was just funny, because as I was going through the top movies of the 80s, I felt they were all flawless. I don't know if we could do that with the 90s, which we should try. That's another great experiment, pulp culture experiment, is all the top 10 grossing movies all flawless? Because these were Raiders of the Lost Ark. Can you, like, although there's an interesting Big Bang Theory that the arc would have ended up where it ended up no matter what. Indiana Jones, that's sidebar. Again, like, there's so many flaws. I wonder if the 90s could do that. We're going to do that one time. I bet the 70s could.
No, still quiet. Okay, just give me a second. I'm going to make a slight adjustment here. Bear with me.
Okay, I'll keep talking.
I'm going to switch inputs here. Put me out.
Let's go. So I have at the on my store here, Machete Comics. Thanks for watching, everybody. By the way, I really appreciate your viewing comic books and conspiracy theories. We're going to dive into the Illuminati later. And if you watch the last episode, our Illuminati, our Cult of Machete segment, was about devil worshipping and heavy metal music from the 80s. And it kind of wrapped me around to today, and it kind of like smacked me in the head like, wait a minute. I know that Vince Neil was not worshiping the devil. He was worshiping women and drugs, right? So this is going to be great because this is going to bring me around to the whole New Age Illuminati, who I was sure were worshiping the devil. But then all of a sudden it smacked me in the head. It's like, wait a minute. The 80s metal guys were supposedly worshiping the devil, and it went as far as like a Senate hearing. So this will be great talking about the Illuminati today. I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. So we're talking about today. We're doing our
try some audio. How
Okay.
about now? Can you hear my audio now? It's going to be a little echoey because I'm in a room.
Okay.
Lonnie, how's that sounding for you? Sorry,
I think you're doing good.
I'm in a basement just off the ocean.
Well, as long as you can get out of the basement when you're done.
Yes, I can.
Okay, because I worry about you. I worry about you.
Lonnie. Hopefully this works. I'm going off the MacBook.
Okay, great. So here we go. So
No, she says still the same. Well, shit.
we'll just keep moving here. I don't know what else to do.
I'm coming back in. Chris, you talk for a couple minutes. I'll be back.
Okay. So our new segment is called the Viewer's Choice segment. All right. And as I mentioned, I put out a question, and people will clue in, sign in, shed their opinion on what they feel is the best of the best. Okay. So last week it was what we should bring back from the 80s. This week, my question, my friends, was, and this is tough because I just asked them to give me one. Of course, a lot of people gave me a few, but what is the greatest rock and roll band of all time? That's a tough question, right? Like, really? Now, I'm going to go through some surprises here. Excuse me. No Beatles. Nobody suggested the Beatles at all. There was no one that suggested Beatles. We had actually Mr. Machete got a vote before the Beatles did, Brent. So take that to heart, my friend. There was no Beatles votes, but there was one vote for Mr. Machete. And thank you, Mike Bryant from Toronto now, but the old Schwa boy. He's a kid from the Schwa. Now I'm echoing. Right? No, it's all good.
No, I can hear you fine. How
Okay,
about me?
great. I just got a bit of an echo over here. So we got the rock band, the best rock band ever is what we're working with right now.
Okay. Can it be a single artist? Does it have to be a band? Can it be like just a solo artist? It's just sort of our opinion of best rock band of all time. That's the idea.
Yeah. But I guess it could be a single artist. You know what I mean? Like,
so you want me to actually say what mine is, or are we just talking who we think?
Why don't you ponder it? Why don't you ponder it while I go through what our viewers have suggested?
Sure, sounds good.
And then, so what I'm going to do, because what I did was I tallied all the votes. Yes, I said tallied. I tallied all the votes, my friend, and we have our top 5. Okay?
All right.
So there's no echo, right? Because I'm hearing a wicked echo all of a sudden, but that's cool. It's an echo. So here's what we got. Viewer's choice. This is wicked. So number 5 is Iron Maiden, which I don't know if that's a rock band, but Iron Maiden. And we've got Mickey Sick. Remember Metal Mike?
I do. Yep.
This not big Metal Mike, but the smaller Metal Mike, punk rock Mike.
Yes. Punk
That's
rock
him.
Mike. Yes.
He's
okay.
from Trenton, Ontario, and he was one of the people that voted for Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden had a few votes here. Okay. Next we have, and this is you'd think this one, Rolling Stones were number 4. All right. Now we have one of the big contributing voters for that was Carl DeBarros, I believe was his name is, from Uxbridge. Remember him? I believe he was in a band we played with back in the day. He's from Uxbridge. Carl DeBarros, bass player from Active Life or something like that, possibly.
Okay.
Okay, so that's so Carl DeBarros was one of the guys that said, and Stones, and he was just like, that's end of discussion. The Stones, right? Okay, so that's number 4. Number 3, there's a tie. Okay, and it's who you would think it would be probably. It's Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. And we've got Chris Hansen, another guy from Uxbridge, who was saying Sabbath, and we've got I believe it's Roos Christish. And he was one of the Led Zeppelin contributors. Okay, I don't know where Roos is from. I'm not sure. I think he made up a place that he's from, like the reaches of hell or something. Joking. I don't know about
from parts unknown.
Yeah, parts unknown kind of thing, right? Okay, so that's number 3. Number 2, greatest rock band of all time, as chosen by our viewers, Metallica. And that Trevor Mullen, remember Trevor Mullen from Port Perry,
Absolutely.
Ontario, right? We got, and then and Mike Keenan as well from Ingersoll, Ontario. There's somebody from Ingersoll always gets in. There you go. So Mike Keenan and Trevor Mullen were one of the supporters for Metallica, as many more. Number one, what do you think number one is, Brent? There's a few I haven't mentioned, right?
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Number one. So Sabbath is gone. Zeppelin's gone.
Okay, let's do a recap. So number 5, Iron Maiden. Number 4, the Rolling Stones. Number 3 is a tie between Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. Number 2 is Metallica. Number 1 is.
And you said you can't say Beatles. You're not allowed to say the Beatles.
No, you can, but nobody did. I'm just throwing that right. That was a surprise. That was my big surprise, was that nobody said the Beatles, but somebody did say Mr. Machete. That was my joke.
It was probably Kim Burke. Thanks, Kim.
No, it was Mike Bryant. I said it was Mike Bryant.
Mike, yeah. But Kim would vote. Kim would probably vote that as well. Kim would probably vote that as well.
Kim's amazing.
Sorry.
Kim was at the show. She was amazing. Thanks, Kim.
Let me think here for a sec. Okay, so who hasn't been mentioned? That's a big list. God. Let me go. Shit.
Come on.
It's got to be a metal band.
Oh, well, you're not going on your phone, are you?
No, I'm literally looking at a wall. I'm looking at the wall. Thinking right now.
I thought you were Googling number one metal band according to Chris.
No. I mean, some people would say Slayer, but I can't imagine.
I can't believe you don't know who this is. Because this was landslide. So this was probably 30 votes out of 100. Got this one. Maybe more.
Well, all the bands that I would have put as number one, that I would think people would vote as number one.
You're going to smack yourself. AC/DC.
No, AC/DC.
Dude.
I actually have them. I actually had it here.
Come on. Oh, look at that too. That's rock and roll. Damn.
I only pulled up, and interestingly enough about your poll, Chris, being the Kiss fan that you are.
No Kiss.
Didn't make it in there.
Okay, well, so you ready for my top 5?
Woo, yeah, let's go.
Okay, now right off the bat, I'm disqualifying Led Zeppelin because they literally stole a lot of, if not most of their early music from black musicians who had no rights during the time when they were when Led Zeppelin started writing and such. So I'm disqualifying them. Sorry, Led Zeppelin fans. My opinion. My top 5. So starting with number 5 is Van fucking Halen. In my opinion, the greatest rock guitar player ever, Eddie Van Halen. You get the Californian boy in front, David Lee Roth. You got just a percussion rhythm section with the bass and the drums that is just flawless. Thump, 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 thump. Van Halen. Van fucking Halen. All right. We've got number 4, Black Sabbath, the inventors of metal. I got to give it to Black Sabbath. Their songs are long and droning, some of them, but they're so good and so ahead of their time. I love that. Outside of the box. Okay. Number 3, dude, I got Queen, because not only were those guys writing some of the best music ever, when they played live, they were all over the place, dude. They rock. Freddie Mercury is the greatest frontman singer
of all time.
Of all time. So I got Queen at number 3. Number 2, I have AC/DC, and I'm talking like, what you showed, brother. I love that Highway to Hell album. That's a flawless album. That is a flawless album. Highway to Hell is a flawless album. Doing that. Okay, number 1, dude. Who's my number 1, Brent? You wanted the best and you got the best. The hottest band in the world, Kiss. Yeah, it's got to be Kiss, man, because they had, and I'm talking, their first 6, 7 albums. They had the show and they had the tunes. When somebody says, "Oh yeah, rock and roll all night, party every day," I just look at them like they're an idiot and you don't know music. Because if you know Kiss, when all members have bought into what they were doing, they were untouchable. They had the show, they had the tunes. They could be credited with writing stoner rock. You listen to the song "She," bow, just unreal. The down, sorry, I'm. Good one, Chris. That sounds just like it. But you know what I'm saying. So that I get really disappointed when people. I kind of judge musical people on their opinion on Kiss. If you don't like Kiss, I get that after you explain it to me. If you explain it to me with, they're doing a lot of drugs back in the day, and that song "Rock and Roll All Night" is not very good, and they're all about their live show and their makeup. It's like, hey, you have not done your research. Shut up. Kiss, number 1 on my books. Let's go over it one more time. I got Van Halen number 5 because Eddie Van Halen is the greatest guitar player of all freaking time. Look at that dude. He's just cool. And he was just a little dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't one of these towering, scary rock guys. Like, you know, Chad Kroeger from Nickelback is a big rock dude, right? Like, I'll give him that. He looks like a big, impressive rock tall guy. Eddie just slides in with the hair and the smile going, I like to smoke cigarettes and play guitar. He's just so rad. Okay, 4 is Black Sabbath because they created metal, went against the grain. 3 is Queen just because they're great. Freddie Mercury, and plus their live presence, yeah. Dude, their live presence was amazing. There's a live video of them in Montreal you can see from back in the late 70s. It's just fantastic. Number 2 is AC/DC, spin Highway to Hell from front to back and just barbecue some meat. Kiss is just the whole package. The whole package. Knights in Satan's Service. What do you got, buddy? What do you got?
All right. So mine is going to be a little different, but not too different. Because Kiss lives outside my top 5, but only because I was late to Kiss. And we're talking, and I don't mean late to Kiss because I didn't like Kiss. It's because I'm a 76er. Right. So by the time I started getting into music, like properly, the first record I ever bought was Too Fast for Love from Motley Crue when I was 6.
That's a good album.
It was great.
Yeah, I had a cousin, close to being flawless.
I know, and I had a cousin, my cousin Terry, who was a massive Iron Maiden fan, and everyone's got a cousin. Everyone's got a cousin named Terry. He was the guy that put me into sort of that world where Sabbath and some of these. But I gotta say, admittedly, I'm into it because I think there is a slight age gap between us when it comes to when it comes to influence, because Fitz and Todd and those guys are all there with you, and you guys all came through that, and I was just after that.
Well, dude, I started listening to music seriously, like asking for certain records when I was 6 years old, dude. That's friggin' early. Like a lot of people because we were talking to Todd and Brett, and they were like, oh yeah, well, my first album was like, and it was, what was it? It was that band, the disco band. No, I'm not hacking on them. I'm just sharing stories. ABBA, right? ABBA, yeah. And I was like, oh, dude, my first album was like Love Gun, right? And they're just like, oh, dude, that's so cool. And it is, but that's the thing is that I started, and my mom's watching. She'll back me up on this, walking through the mall going, me just going, I want that. And her going, geez, and her probably thinking, oh, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean?
Okay. I will give you this. I think Kiss is like a 5A.
Keep going, buddy. Keep going.
If not number 5, because I have to think back to when I dressed up as them. My list is more what influenced my life, more so than whatever, because I do have some 90s stuff in there that I think definitely played a role in what I love. Right?
The Foos almost made it, buddy. The Foos were like...
The Foos are right there. The only reason the Foos aren't all the way in for... The only reason the Foos aren't all the way in for me is because I dare I say they got away with a little too much filler. That's all. That's all. The hits are massive, but the filler with the Foos at times, and I would say between after the second record, those middle sort of 5 records, it was sort of like there was a little bit more filler in there, and then the last 2 records have been like masterpieces. So they just kind of were there. Now, coincidentally, before we get into my list, and I forgot to put this picture in here. I was in Bogota, Colombia the other day, and I was getting coffee around the corner from the Four Seasons Hotel. And then I was standing in front of the Four Seasons going hotel, and that's where the band that I was on tour with was staying at that hotel. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is the Four Seasons in Bogota. And I went in and I checked at the front desk, and it was it's the hotel where Taylor Hawkins died.
Oh wow!
And I was in the lobby, and that's the lobby where all the bands where the band was waiting for him to come downstairs. So it was really heavy. I was like, holy shit!
So when you came downstairs, they were like, boo.
A little bit. All right, so Foos don't make the. They're not quite in there. I'm going the other way. I'm going from 1 to 5 here for me. All right,
you can't do that. You got to go from the back end. It's so less dramatic when you start from number 1. There's nowhere to go. You got to start from number 5.
Pearl Jam at number 5 for me.
Okay, there you go. Hi, Eddie.
Love love that band.
Great live band.
A band that I when I heard again, sort of you have to pick a Nirvana side, a bit of a different side. Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. You kind of had to pick somebody in that realm, and I really just took to Pearl Jam, and I really thought 1990s when I'm entering high school, they just hit perfectly. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, for me.
Okay, pick it up. Our guest is here. Pick it up.
Oh, okay. They live there. Okay, I'm going AC/DC at number 4 because you start learning drums, you start doing the whole thing. I love
Highway to Hell, flawless album.
I love Bon Scott.
The Whiskey Soul Voice.
Yeah. I gotta go. Well, I was with you on Van Halen. They were in my top 5, but I'll throw them at 3 because I love everything about them. I even like the Hagar stuff. Not as much, but I thought that they put out some great
5150 is a flawless album, I believe.
Yeah.
Van Halen have some flawless albums. Okay, keep going.
What do you got now? Metallica at number 2 for me. That band absolutely changed my life. That was the first heavy band that I went to see, and the stuff they put out in the last 10 years has been great. Obviously, they had a bit of a 90s lull there, but that night,
I just called Metallica because of their fans.
Yeah.
Because they turned on me in high school and they all started beating me up. They're the ones that hated the Metallica at first.
I just have to talk about bands that absolutely changed my world, and that was it. And number 1 for me, Chris, is actually Queen.
Nice.
It's actually Queen. I listen to them all the time.
Gotta respect that.
And the reason that they're number 1 is for me, it turned into when Freddie passed, and they did the Freddie Mercury concert. Mm-hmm. For me, that was the moment where I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, as far as career-wise. I mean, we'd seen the bands play live. We saw the concerts. We did the whole thing. But that moment, Wembley, 70,000 people there paying tribute to him. I'm like, I need to do a show there. I need to know how to do that. And that was the band, and that was the moment, and that was the concert where I was like, 14, and I'm like, I'm going to do that for the rest of my life, and it's Queen. So they always hold that in there for me. I got honorable mentions for some Canadian stuff, obviously, like I'm Mother Earth, and I love, who's actually absolutely 100% put since 1994 been solid, never put anything out that was shit, and has just been consistently putting
the Imagine Dragons.
Ian Thornley.
Yeah,
Big Wreck.
Yeah, I saw him. Remember when they put them? Remember they put them opening for Motley Crue, and I was like, "What are you guys doing?"
Understood, but his Big Wreck album.
No, I know he's good dude. Yeah, he's very, very talented. Very,
unbelievable.
Very talented,
so that's kind of where I live. I know it's a mixed bag, and it's a little behind you. There's a little bit more grunge in there, and it's a little bit. But for me, it's just kind of the way that my world was influenced. So I have to go with those guys.
It. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play our intro, and we're going to bring in our guest. Ready for it? Here we go.
Absolutely.
Yay!
Ray Ralph.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Good, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome to see you, man. Welcome. Another Crier Media Network, like solid dude that we got to get on these shows, and another member of the family. Yeah. And just how you doing, buddy? How are things? You got a hell of a brand new show.
Tell us about it. I'm not too privy to it yet. Tell us about it.
We just finished recording our episode for Wednesday. We went 22 minutes heavy. So it's I had to yell them. By the way, they send their love. Ryan and Mike and Douglas send their love over. They told me to say that. So Around the Horn. So I had a show called Who's Got Next, and a couple of the members punked out, and we kind of floundered. And then Ryan Lindley, who is the host of Getting Sauce, and he's been a co-host on the Dean Blundell show, was kind of not floundering, but looking for something to do. So I said, hey, man, you want to join Who's Got Next? And then Who's Got Next really wasn't my name to use anymore, that the show split up. So we changed it to Around the Horn, and we just added a fourth member tonight, but you're going to have to wait till Wednesday to see who it is. It's another Crier Media personality, but I can't reveal it because we want to keep it a secret. We want the big surprise on Wednesday.
Cool.
But it's basically, so the premise of the show is kind of cool. Everybody comes with a subject. Nobody tells the other guys what we're bringing, so no one can prep for it. And then we just go around the horn. And every week there's a different order. We drop the subjects. Tonight we had a couple of really heavy topics, and then we had a couple of Ryan had a really fun food topic, and Mike had a hilarious sort of retrospective topic. So we kind of just go, we talk everything. We try not to talk about sports. I do have a spin-off now that goes on Saturdays called Around the Horn Sports. And it's me solo, and that's just where I just kind of, because I'm a sports writer on Crier, I just kind of wrap up the week in sports. And my sports content is really not your traditional X's and O's. I try to get into the stories of sports and you know, some of the conversation that fans are having around the different sports stories. So that's who we are. That's who I am.
Interesting.
Plus you've got Ray's Got Next, which is the AI podcast, which is deadly.
Ray's Got Next is dead.
You killed it already?
Well, it got.
We just did a show about it last week.
It got killed with Who's Got Next. It was the whole brand went. That's why it's Around the Horn Sports now. We had to completely rebrand. It was Who's Got Next. I'll exclusively for your guys' show. I won't get into it. It ended ugly. So it was better just to.
So can we steal the AI concept for this show and the other show and the other one? Man. Because Ray had this great AI show where he was asking him questions, and he was doing his own AI based show, and it was deadly. Loved it.
Now, in fairness, right, I made this look like it was my whole concept of I want to be, out there and do something different. But it was actually out of pure laziness, because I decided I didn't want to host a podcast anymore. I wanted to I wanted to just be a guest, so I didn't have to do all the prep, right? I could be vain and see myself on screen and be the superstar that I am, but do zero prep work to have to do it. And that's when I was like, holy shit, holy crap, I'll just get.
You swear? That's okay.
Okay, all right, but holy shit, I can just get AI to interview me, and that's where we went. And then yeah. So Who's Got Next dissipated, and I had to just rebrand the whole thing, and now we got Around the Horn and Around the Horn Sports.
All right,
nice. I love it.
Awesome stuff. Around the Horn is a great concept because we needed something else on the network. Because you got Dean's show in the afternoon, kind of covering one or two specific topics, but there's so much going on in the world that you gotta, you can spend a lot of time on that. So good stuff, man.
I gotta let my cat in.
Good stuff, right? That's pretty awesome. And so that's gonna go once a week.
Yep, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on the network, and then it'll be available Thursday morning across all the podcast platforms.
Wednesdays and Thursdays, killer. Love it. And then Saturdays Around the Horn Sports.
Saturday Around the Horn Sports at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Amazing. That's kind of in between that's just before the hockey game.
I figured 5 p.m. on a Saturday is the perfect time because you're not quite going out, you're not quite getting ready to go out, and you're kind of just finishing up your day. So I was like, you just take an hour or 45 minutes, chill, listen to me rant about sports, and then you can go on about your merry life.
Love it.
Yeah, it's fun stuff.
So what do you think about the Illuminati? Because that's what we're going to talk about.
So yeah, I got offered to join the Illuminati.
I
did too, buddy. Yeah. So I'm going to join them right here.
And I had a shit ton of questions for them.
Yeah.
And I was asking questions over and over again. I don't know if they started catching on what I was doing, but all of a sudden I was blocked, and I realized I had blown my chance to join the Illuminati. Truthfully told, I was trying to do it. I was trying to get enough content to do an entire show because I just kept asking them all these questions. And
what? Just give me an example. Give me an example of one of the questions you asked them.
Well, so after I got a very long message, it all started with this big long message about joining this elite society and this and that. And my first response back to them was like, I understand why you want me in the Illuminati. I get that. Right. You know what I mean? The presence that I hold in this world with my 5,000 Twitter subscribers, I totally get it. You need that. And then, so I was like, but I have a few questions for you. I'm like, do I really got to do that shit where we, go have sex with each other at the big, and with things on fire and all that?
Is it like that Kubrick movie? Like, what's going on here, man?
Yeah. So I need to know, was it Wicker Man? Is that what it was? It was whatever. So I'm like,
it was Wicker Man with it.
Yeah. Do we have to do this stuff? And they responded and they're like, no. And, and then I was like, so I continued moving on and doing things. And then I asked, Since I don't have money and it's supposed to be for the world elite, will they give me money?
Mhm.
And he told me that the person I was corresponding with was they were going to, give me access to all the riches in the world, that I was going to have connections all over the place. And this was this is real. Like, there was only 23 followers. So this is the exclusive Illuminati club. So we went there, and then oh shit, I asked him a lot of questions, because every time he's like, because it always finished with, would you like to join? And I would always respond with a question. And so we
do you remember what the name was? Because mine's from Katie Bryan.
Oh, mine was just called Illuminati.
No, mine's from Katie Bryan, and she says, hello, I understand this is my first time talking to you, but this message is to invite you to join Illuminati. Triangle. Being part of Triangle, Illuminati exposes you to rich, in capital letters now, rich, protection, fame, and power. Triangle symbol. Plus $1 million as a welcome gift, a car of your choice, a home of your choice, and a monthly income of $500,000. Note that the Triangle Illuminati do not undertake any act that harms you and your family, and that you do not have to sell your soul, to become a member. Apply for Illuminati membership, Triangle, today, and enjoy the benefits. Don't miss this great opportunity. If you're interested, please answer yes to our proposal for more information. And then they hit me up again saying, are you interested in joining the Great Illuminati Brotherhood Organization? Triangle. No. And then now it's in capital letters. No sacrifice and killing or selling your soul is involved. Join us today and overcome and achieve your dreams life. Okay. So I'm live on TV right now. Here it is. Should I say yes? Should I just say yes? Guys, what do you think?
Absolutely.
I mean, I blew my opportunity. Don't blow yours.
Okay,
right?
so here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see it on screen, Chris. Bring it up on screen. Let's see it on screen.
I don't know how to do that, buddy. Come on.
Just bring it.
Just
put it in front of you.
That's right here. Here it is. Can you see it?
Yeah, I got it. Now let's hit
there we go there. Can you see that?
Perfect. Hit yes and send.
Well, I got it. Okay, how about sounds rad? No, just yes?
Yes. Ashley says no, but Ashley, we're going for it. I mean, what kind of show are we running here?
No, wait, Ashley. Well, Ashley, why shouldn't I do it? Give me little reasoning why. Maybe you can talk me out of it. Okay, you got 5 seconds to talk me out of it, Ashley. You ready?
Lonnie says no.
Lonnie says, okay, that's my wife.
Would you flag it?
Why would I say do it? Because
don't flag people say no. Just wait until he presses send. Then we can say people say no.
My cat's screaming in here too. He's like, "Don't do it!" My parents are clawing at the computer screen. No, here we go. So yes, with the cheers. Now I'll just put yes. So, cat says yes. Yeah, the cat's screaming. You can hear him, right? Okay, so here we go. Send. Okay, so I'm officially.
Let's bring that up.
That's amazing. Can you ask them to give me a second chance?
Sure, buddy. If I get some pull, man, you're the first guy.
I appreciate that.
How many houses do you get now, Chris? How many houses do you get?
Oh, it was one, right? Wasn't it just one? I closed it off. I got all excited and closed it off.
You get $1 million just introduction for getting there.
Yeah, and a new car and a house, and then I get an
car
annual.
You gonna pick?
If I could get any car, dude, I would get that one from Smokey and the Bandit, the Firebird, the gold one.
Oh shit, you're going way out.
Oh, dude, I don't like cars. I'm not a car guy, so I would just park it in my garage and drive to the liquor store and back. That's all I would do.
See, I feel like you'd have to get a Tesla or something. They probably make.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're probably right. Those are cool cars. I'm just thinking one of my students has one of those and their parents drop them off, and I'm like, dude, what is the sound in the driveway? Oh, that's my mom's car, man. It's a smart car or something. It's like, damn. Yeah, because I think they drive themselves, do they not?
Well, I think if you get an Illuminati car, it would. You'll get the top of the. I mean, I'm so jealous right now. This is just. I should have just said yes. I don't know why I kept asking questions.
I mean, I sat on it for a while, buddy, and they just kept sending me more things. There was actually 2 other people that sent me invitations to the Illuminati. See, here's the thing is, and Brent knows this, I put up the sign secretively every episode. Somebody's catching on.
That's exactly what it is. That's
Somebody,
exactly what it is.
mine's super subtle though, man. Mine's like mine's like an Easter egg in a Marvel movie. You gotta like, well, no, that's obvious. Never mind. Like in some other movie. But anyway, yeah, it's like so they're on to me, man, and I like it. So if they can help me, if you guys are out there watching, don't kill me. I'm a nice guy.
Okay, but Ray, like, why do you think they invited you? Because Chris has gone down the conspiracy theory corner here, but who's got next? Ray's got next, and around the horn, you guys haven't dove into that yet. So why do you think they actually invited you to the Illuminati?
Well, I mean, have you met me?
Well, I mean, we've met over the internet,
Yeah,
but I mean, what do you do on a Thursday night? Do you send out, conspiracy theory shit to the world?
It's just this presence. You know what I mean? It's just this aura that I put. By the way, just so you guys know, I think the reason I got blocked was because the last question I asked them was, "Do I have to fuck a sheep?"
Oh, that would do it. That would do it, my friend.
I think that's when they had enough of me and they blocked me.
That's the one.
But I was concerned about that.
I could see.
If I'm gonna join a secretive organization that reaches out to people on Instagram, you know what I mean? I'm going to ask these questions.
Did you? I think Chris, have you tried to find this girl on Twitter to see if she actually has a Twitter account while she's doing invites?
No, because I haven't really paid much attention to it because I do get a lot of, I get a lot of people sending me artwork to try and work for Machete Comics. And I just get a lot of spam, and then there's the odd person paying me for something. So it's like, the ones that are like PayPal or whatever, they're sending money, I pay attention to. Most of the other ones I really don't, because if you really want to get a hold of me, you know to text me. Right. So now I don't pay attention to a lot. And plus, dude, you must know Instagram's like anytime you follow someone, it's like some sexy girl going, "Hi, how are you?" And it's like, or some dude saying, "Hey, sweetheart." It's like, "Oh, that's a robot, man. What are you doing?" So I don't pay attention to a lot of them. But yeah, I was trying to find it again. I'm so inept on here. I've totally lost it.
I guess we get the update next week. So
yeah, we totally will. No, we'll get the update next week. Next week is the flawless episode.
Ray, I tasked you with bringing a conspiracy theory to the table. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, you did. I was thinking because I know a bunch of them, but they're the ones that everybody knows. You know what I mean?
Well, that's okay.
Well, what's your favorite? Which one do you actually
favorites.
like? What's your personal favorite?
My personal favorite.
Yeah, because then you're passionate about it, right?
You see, I was telling this to somebody the other day that I used to be a big Alex Jones fan, right? I don't necessarily up until the whole Sandy Hook thing, but I used to just find his stuff very entertaining. The Illuminati is probably one of my favorites. That's one of the ones I really like. I don't really like this one, but the Inside Job is one. 9/11 I've looked a lot at. I think that you know what? I'll tell you what my favorite one is. I watched this and I've seen it a few times. I've read that these people have made a connection between all of the presidents of the United States and how they're all related by bloodline. And watching them connect Barack Obama and Jimmy Carter is like the funniest shit in the world, right? Like the potato farmer to Obama to the Bushes, and yeah, they connected them all by bloodline, but it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Like when you actually go through the timeline they give you, you're like, how the fuck did you make that leap? You know?
Right, that's awesome.
But yeah, that's probably my favorite. That they say that and I've read it a few times, and there's a bunch of YouTube videos on it that all of the presidents of the United States have all been a part of the same bloodline.
You know, I've heard that before. Now that you bring that up, I've actually heard that before, and it's mostly from the Americans that I tour with. That are like, there's this theory,
right?
That and I'm sure that Barack Obama and Trump, or Barack Obama is super excited to have some kind of bloodline connection to Trump in some capacity. I can imagine he's very excited about that.
Didn't Trump like break the bloodline? I remember reading that. Like Trump was actually like the one who's exposing him, and Putin are exposing the Illuminati. You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones exposing all this stuff. But yeah, like conspiracies, like Endgame used to be one of my favorite documentaries. Like I just thought it was such a well done. And I always get do you guys believe in conspiracies? I'm not going to offend anybody here, am I?
Who, me? Oh, dude, I love conspiracy theories. Like, I just love hearing them, and then I'll make my decision after. Like, I just love hearing. I'm a comic book writer, so this is food for thought.
Okay, yeah, like Alex Jones's Endgame is one of my favorite documentaries ever. I don't believe it, most of it, or any of it. It's so well, for me, it's so well done. You know what I mean? And it's such a, a fun piece to watch. I just never really got wrapped up.
What's the premise of it, Ray?
So it's all about the Bilderberg group and the Bilderberg meeting. Actually, when the Bilderbergs were in Ottawa, I believe Alex Jones crashed it, and he was in his hotel room, and he was calling into what's his name? George. He used to have the radio show.
The late night guy, Chris.
Yeah,
this
the
guy,
late
George. Who the late night alien guy that used to be on AM radio?
I can't Tizzolo or whatever. It's aliens.
No, I'll get it.
George something. So, anyways, he was on the phone with him, and the fucking alarm started going off in the hotel as soon as he started talking about the Bilderberg group, and then Alex Jones is outside with his megaphone screaming like a maniac at like a building, like an inanimate object, like the people inside could hear him. But yeah, it's all about the Bilderberg group. It's all about, the Illuminati and all that type of stuff. It's a very, very interesting.
Art Bell.
Okay.
Art Bell. That was coincidentally one of Mike Bryant's favorite things in the world was Art Bell. That was the first guy that I had heard on the air that was like legit. I'm in a bunker, and if they ever get to me, I'm screwed. If they get to me, what happened to me, and the aliens landed here. And he was the first one that I'd actually heard speak to this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Where it was like, there's something else going on, and all the rest of it. Ryan Lindley brought up a good point about Marianne from the Let's Take This Outside podcast. We have a homegrown conspiracy on the Crier Media Network that Marianne Iverson has actually never been outside. Now, Ray and
agree.
Ray and Marianne have a real. They like to butt heads a lot here. So Ray's on board with this one. He thinks that Marianne's a fraud. So this is great. This is a good one, Ryan. Thanks for bringing that on there. And we'll make sure we clip this and send it to her.
100%. You send this to her. I totally agree with that conspiracy theory. I think she sits in front of green screens and with her ski poles. You ever notice there's never a video of her skiing? It's always just a picture. You know what I mean? It's always just a picture. That's her in front of a green screen.
We've got a pretty eclectic group here, Ray, on the Crier Media Network. Where else do you think we could have a conspiracy theory could lie within the network?
Oh, within the network?
I mean, James DiFiorio, blackballed. I mean, Jesus Christ. That guy. He could be an actual alien.
So I had a student the other day, this 8-year-old student, tell me, he goes, you're not really human, but in a good way. And it's like, okay, little dudes, they say the funniest things to you, right? So maybe I'm not human either, who knows? But I think the ones that are outside of the box are the ones. But one thing I wanted to mention before we end here, too, is because I brought this up before, a few episodes ago. The Super Bowl really set me off with all these elite musicians flashing their red and their symbolisms and what's her name, wiping her crotch and sniffing it and all this in our faces. It's like right in our faces, right? Like we're elite. We're in the Illuminati. Are they though? Because I was like, yeah, these guys are dicks. They're doing their thing. And then I did the 80s episode, and the conspiracy theory was musicians who worship the devil. And it was all a farce, right? Like Vince Neil, as I mentioned, was not worshiping the devil. And I expanded my research on these guys who were said to have experimented in it. And, coolest thing about Led Zeppelin was that they sold their soul to play rock and roll. No, they ripped off black musicians to play rock and roll, but the devil thing back in the 80s was a farce, and even went as far as to the Senate. That's how far people believed that you could put the record backwards and satanic messages were for it. So now it's making me think, are we just having the music industry say, hey guys, let's all act like Satanists to make money? So what do you guys think of that? Because that's my new kind of conspiracy theory kind of
Well, the oldest tale in the world is that Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil to be able to play the blues as good as he did. And that's a funny old kind of timey blues story that if you want to be, there, you got to sell your soul to the devil. But which means that you have to now buy into the devil. So I think that let's start over here. Let's start over. You're putting yourself into some kind of box there, depending on where you land on religion and all the rest of it, which opens up the door to who's selling their soul to the devil, because KISS stands for Knights and Saints. People are like, it stands for Knights and Saints Service, but it didn't.
But now they're saying that they're sacrificing relatives, like Beyonce sacrificed her sister, Kanye sacrificed her mom. Like, right? Like, what do you think of that? Like, those are the conspiracy theories I'm talking about. Like, boom.
Here's my thing on it.
Let's hear it.
And this is why I struggle with conspiracy theories. if all this stuff was happening, don't you think it would be more than just a like somebody would talk about it? You know what I mean? Like, like I don't mean just the conspiracy theories. Like Mick Jagger would break. Like somebody of that nature would break at a level of like, guys, this is the real thing. If you want to be a musician, you have to write a contract, selling your soul to the devil. Like I can't see people keeping their mouths shut for so long. It's just like world governments wanting to take over. Like at some point, there's going to be a noble person who's in a level where they're like, whoa, this isn't what I signed on for. You
well,
know,
to interject right there, but no, just interject right there because I researched that exact point. Now, here's what I got. They're killing them off. That's like the ones that are coming out saying child molesters, like this, that, they're killing them off. And then again, that's another rabbit hole you go down. It's like, holy fuck, maybe they are. Like, it's just so awesome because I love stories. But again, so I thought the same thing. It's like, somebody be saying something. So I type it in. Killed him. She's dead. He's dead. Anne Hesh is a real big one there who's just out of nowhere, who's on the list of people. So I was just have you ever looked into any of that?
No.
No, okay, I was just curious because it's wild because there's so many people that have mysteriously died, right? Who were on the edge of telling, like, and Brent and I discussed this. One of the only survivors is Corey Feldman. And you watch his show and you watch his terrible music. No, I'm joking. That's my Corey Feldman rant. I have to do a Corey Feldman rant every episode. I love his music. I love Corey.
Well, Corey Feldman just did that thing with Mian Bialik, and she talked about it in there too. And he was like, they're trying to kill me, and he's just kind of doing his thing. And he just, but good for Corey. He just landed the guy from that does Michael Key or whatever, how you pronounce his name, is such a big Corey Feldman fan. He's going to start putting him in all his movies. So he's one that got out. He's the one that got out, right? If you believe that there is a that there is a thing. What they come back with, Chris? Oh, here we got the answer
immediately.
Chris joining the Illuminati. It says what? Hold up a little closer, Chris.
You are welcome to the Illuminati Brotherhood First, it gave me a triangle, and then, what's going on?
Yeah, it's not.
It just got really bright. What happened there? We lost it.
Why don't you read it out for us?
Yeah, what happened? I just got really... Okay, sorry. You are welcome to the Great Illuminati Brotherhood Organization Triangle. I'm Kate Bryan. It's nice to meet you. And where are you from?
Oh. Where does Ryan Lindley live? That's where you're from. Give Ryan and Ash's address.
I'll just say Ontario, Canada.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And specifically Ryan Street. Let's start with that.
It's not. But here's the thing: I have a home business, and it's always been that way, right? Like I'm either teaching out of my home or it's comic books out of my home. So I'm not hard to find, really, if they want to find me. And wouldn't they know? Yes, Ryan. Thank you. Yes, they would know, Ryan. They're the Illuminati. Come on. Okay. So I'll just say Ontario, Canada. That was quick, man. Like they hit me back. Like they hit me back 2 minutes after I sent that.
Ray, it's funny. I'm with you on the conspiracy theory side because I think that it's fun to question all this stuff and it's great. But I also think that there is there has to be the Clooneys of the world that are like, fuck you. I'm not doing this shit. Like I'll just say there's got to be somebody in there that's going to call it out. And to Chris's point, some of them are being killed off. But
I just say maybe they are. Just maybe they are.
Well, my thing is though, like Brett, what you do for a living, right? Like at some point, I feel like someone's going to go, "Hey,
crack." Oh.
No, but you know what I mean. Like at some point, someone's going to go, like, "Hey, I sold my soul." You know what I mean? Someone's going to get fucked up enough, and is going to, you know what I mean? Like it's like, how does every single person in the industry keep that secret, and only a few speak out, and then die? That's where my rabbit hole gets stuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so you think it's like the 80s? It's because they are definitely doing it, right? Like if you go back over the Super Bowl, every artist put the triangle up, right? And as I did the research on the one with Rihanna there, she rubbed her crotch and sniffed it, and there was satanic images behind them, and it was like they were really evident. But again, They did the same. Shout at the devil. Shout at the devil. You know what I mean? Like they did the same thing back. Like Slayer doesn't worship Satan. They got their family men, right? So that's what I'm saying, Ray. I get that. I'm kind of I'm not making a decision on these conspiracy theories. That's why I like to talk about them. Is that just I like all the options. I like it's how can you? It's hard to make a final decision on a lot of them, though, right? And I think that's why people like them so much.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, like the fun, you think about even just the fun ones, right? Like Elvis is alive, Tupac's on an island somewhere. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's fun to have those discussions. Like, well, how did they release an album after he died? Like, as if fucking digital audio recording doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there's there's some fun stuff out there that you can talk about, and I like when they poke fun at it too. I don't know if you guys ever saw Little Nicky from Adam Sandler.
Oh, hell's yeah!
With the guys, and he's spinning the Ozzy record.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What's Ozzy saying? And he's like, "Well, the Oz man usually got said what he was saying," but then he pulls the Chicago record. They're in Chicago, and then it starts doing this thing.
Ready for me to blow your mind? Yeah. Oh, dude, see, that's what I'm talking. See, that's what I'm saying. Is like, have they just upped their game today, and they took it to the highest level possible, the Super Bowl, and they said, "Watch this, watch this," and they just did it, and then they think we're Satanists, but we're not. They're cheersing after, going, "Man, we fucked them up." Sports fans.
Listen, they make movies. They make movies about people that rule the world. They make movies about hitmen that go out and solve problems. They make movies about all these different things. Clearly somebody has said something about the way some things work, sure, but again, I love talking about this stuff, Chris, because it always opens it up, especially out of COVID. I mean, you could write a book and write books of the COVID conspiracies that have come out, just about the government and this and that, and it could go on for days, and we're not going to do that on here.
See, that's a good example of one I don't really know too much about, because entertainment stuff, I'm like a Viking, right? But wait, she hit me back again. I don't know if you want. We're going back and forth here, man. She's like, "I'm from Washington, D.C. It's a pleasure to meet you." Whoa, geez, there's another one. Okay. Wow. I'm from Washington, D.C. It's a pleasure to meet you. I want you to understand that our organization will make you rich, powerful, and famous. Ooh. Most top leaders in the world are members of our organization. You can become a member of the Illuminati in order to receive the fruitfulness of this group, including money, power, success, recognition, and overall greatness. Double tap to like.
Ask her if you have to kill anybody.
No. They already said I didn't, right? So they already said I didn't. She was very clear, cap letters, man. Yeah.
Don't ask if you got to fuck a sheep, because they'll block you.
I know.
That's the worst part of it.
You know what, buddy?
And if they sell Avon, ask them how much for the creams. I was
going to say, if they really start to piss me off, I'll drop the sheep line and I'm out, okay? How's that sound? Like, if I really feel this is going the wrong way, I'll drop the sheep line, just in unison of you, and we'll be like, "Oh, he knows that other guy."
Before we let you go, Ray, we definitely want to have you back, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Anytime you want to come back on, it's a lot of fun. But I got to end this properly. The fact that we have asked about potential conspiracy theories within the Crier Media Network. It is time to clip some comments from our good friend Ryan Lindley, co-host of your show Around the Horn. So first and foremost, Chris, he says that when you feel the microchip vibrate, that's a direct deposit coming from the Illuminati. Oh. Just so you know.
I already feel vibrations, man.
Coming back around here, we're going to go to this. Ryan does believe that Marianne Iverson has never actually been outside, and Ray 100% agrees with him.
I totally agree too. That's the worst farce in the history of farces. So,
Mary, we'll have you on next week to ask us or to tell us whether you actually do.
See, I'm not privy to this at all. Let's have her on the show, because I could go in on that one totally blind. I have no idea. I didn't know who you're talking about.
Absolutely.
No, but that's cool though.
No, Marianne.
She's got. You're not missing anything.
Have her in blind. Let's have her on. No,
Ryan. Here's the next one. Lachlan Cross has a majority share in bike lane microwaves, which I
like that one.
Which we absolutely Scotty Trades from Hot Wallet Podcast. Scotty he invests 85% of his portfolio in Hummels and novelty garden gnomes. That sounds about accurate. What else has we got here? Ryan, this is from Ryan himself, creating his own conspiracy theory that Ryan Lindley doesn't own a barbecue. He's a huge investor in microwaves and air
I've heard
fryers.
that. I also heard Skip the Dishes as well. It's
Skip the dishes. You've been around Ryan in a barbecue scenario.
I've never seen him
do you
cook.
Think this is...
I spent 2 days with that guy. Never seen him cook once.
A couple more here. Toto secretly curses the rains down in Africa, which is funny. Another one here. Kim Mitchell is in fact a mild gathering. Has never been a wild party.
In Max Webster a little bit, but.
And the final one here, the Hotel California was in fact an Airbnb in Salt Lake City. So that sounds.
If I was going to do a top 3 songs I never want to hear again, that would be one of them.
Right?
That's a good one. We should do that.
Next time I come back, I'd love to talk music with you guys. Can we do that?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a big music head. Nobody ever wants to talk music with me.
We're pretty good with pop culture, man. We got a pretty big span of things that we like to talk. Entertainment wise, right? We usually grind our gears right off the beginning and talk about some. Like we talked about that Briere's kid right off the beginning there, but didn't want to give him too much time. But we wanted to point out that he's a piece of shit, and then we moved on, right? But yeah, we love anything, man. Just let us know.
Well, Ray, as our sports guy for the Crier Media Network, what do you think of this Briere kick wheelchair down the stairs thing?
Oh, well, if you go on crier.co, I've been all over this. Stop cutting my grass. Jeez, I do one thing well in life. Just let me have it. Listen, I think he's gonna get what's coming to him. This is his second chance that he's had at playing college hockey. This is privilege at its finest. And I think he's going to deal the public shaming. These charges are not going to stick, or if they do, he's going to get community service. It's not going to be anything. I don't want to see the guy ostracized the rest of his life. I think you can be a dick for a long time and then learn and stop being one. But I think that I don't want to see I don't like cancel culture, so I struggle with this both ways. I think we have to focus on the issue, and the issue is privileged. It's people who feel like it's not even being a good person or a bad person. It's like we've all had temptations to do stupid shit. You know what I mean? But then either our moral conscience kicks in and will say like, hey, don't do that, or if I do this, I'm gonna look like an asshole, and I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be in that light. I think though sometimes when we talk about privilege, whether that's money, whether that's race, whether that's your upbringing, and when you talk about the culture of hockey, which I grew up in, people think like I talk as an outsider from hockey because in that I have this war against it, but I was in the hockey culture from the age of 4 until my late 20s, and it sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still does, my friend.
Yeah, and I'm talking about it as an insider. I think I need to clarify that for a lot of crier people. People always think like, "Oh, raised a football and soccer guy." That's like, no, I played hockey my whole life. I sat in dressing rooms. Yeah. And
I get it, dude. I feel the same way whenever I talk about hockey. I say, well, I did play. My dad was a hockey dad. We did. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. I get you, man.
And a lot of privilege comes out of those locker rooms, and a lot of hockey guys. And at one point, I was like this. We just felt like we could say and do whatever we wanted because we're hockey players. You know what I mean? And so again, I think that I'm happy that he's being held accountable publicly, right? And then I hope that he learns, and I hope he does move on, and I hope he becomes a productive member of society and helps somebody. That's my hopes.
Yeah, because it's starting to show pictures of the girl now, all right, with the missing leg sitting in the wheelchair at the top of the stairs. So he's for the next month, he's going to be called a piece of shit, like I've been calling him a couple times in this show, and hopefully he learns from it and and moves on, right? But it is a sad thing because hockey players most of them are douchebags, and I don't know what the deal is like in their heads, but I grew up around it, and it was the guys would be in the dressing room with me, and we were a team, we were awesome, and then we went to school and they'd beat the shit out of me. It was like, damn, you know what I mean? And then I'd get in the dressing room and be all ready to cover, and next thing, come on, Cocker, let's go, Roach. Like best friends, go to school, you're like, holy shit, what happened here? What the hell? I'm a human being, I'm a person. So I get you, brother. I totally get you. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on the show, buddy. And we got to come back anytime. Like
Yeah, man. That link's rocking. Come back. We're talking music, whatever you want to talk about, Ray. It's all good. We'd like to cover it all here Monday nights on the Crier Media Network. Ray Rouse, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so come check me out on Twitter at DPN_Ray. You can find me on Crier Media Wednesday and Saturday. You can also, I have my own YouTube channel too, just called Ray Route. So you can go check it out there.
Nice.
Oh, download Compass Magazine. Job Skills Compass Magazine.
Okay, Compass Magazine.
Download Compass Magazine and see Ryan Lindley in all
Lindley's
his
on the front
barbecue
cover.
glory.
Nice.
And
Love
we'll
it.
leave you, Ray. We're going to leave you with these last two from Ryan on the network. That nerd dad only does one show a week because he's in fact an overbooked male gigolo.
I like that one. I think we should send that one viral.
And this one here should tuck Ryan nicely into bed tonight with no violence. But Ryan Lindley's hot younger wife is in fact John Benet Ramsey with Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, no, that's the winner there. That's the winner.
Ashley.
Did you save that one till the end? Because that's a good one.
I just saved it till the end. Ashley, good luck with all that
That's a
tonight.
good one. I'm going to start
you
putting
know,
some photos together and comparing.
Yeah, that's a whole
I've gotten to
thing
know
there.
Ryan really well over the last year or so. We're podcast partners now, and a part of it. And I can always tell when he's starting to get one drink over.
That's awesome. I like one drink over.
Thanks, buddy.
I base
Thanks,
my life
boys.
on one drink over. Take care, brother.
We'll see you another time, my man. Take care, brother. Take care.
Okay, so I'm about to get
Right.
hooked up with the Grand Master, as she says. So I'm gonna pause that till tomorrow because that's enough information on the Illuminati for me for one night. But that was a great show, my friend. We're running a little over, so we should cut it. And I want to tell everybody, party on
Be excellent to each other.
and yourselves. Thanks,
That's
dudes.
right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, cheers, my
Enjoy.
friends.
Everybody
And
drink.
I'm gonna find the button and I'm gonna end the